Hi, my name's Kat. Thank you for joining me today for this foundation level mat Pilates workout. You don't need any equipment, but you are welcome to add some in if you have some things like booty bands, ankle weights, dumbbells, that sort of thing. Make sure you always listen to your body. So if you need to modify anything or override the cues that I use, then absolutely do so for your individual body and your needs. Rest as much as you need. And if you enjoy, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, comment, like, share, and connect with me on social media. Let's get started. We're going to start in a tabletop position today. So with your hands underneath each shoulder, knees under each hip, and then spread your fingers wide so we've got a nice foundation. So on your exhale, you're going to push your hands through the floor, around your spine, scoop your belly. And then on your inhale, drop your belly, spread your sit bones, and open up your collarbones. Exhale, go back the other way. And inhale the other direction. So our Pilates breath is out through the mouth as like you're blowing out a candle. And then your inhale is through the nose. Let's do one more in both directions. And returning back to neutral. I'm going to just move the shoulder blades. So try not to bend the elbows. So we drop the chest and then round the shoulders forward and back without any other movements, so just the shoulder blades. So we're getting all our stabilizers in the shoulders ready. Go once more. Good. Now this one's a little bit of a brain exercise. Imagine you're shrugging your shoulders up, then squeeze your shoulder blades together behind, pull your shoulder blades down, and then push away. So it's kind of like a box motion. So you go up, drop down, pull your shoulder blades back, and then push away. So shrug, squeeze the shoulder blades together, pull it down and back. Let's do one more. It's like a circular motion, but in parts. And we go back the other way. So drop down, shrug, push away, and then pull it back. Drop down, shrug, push away, pull it back. So you can go as slow as you like. It's the mind mapping system here that may not understand what you're asking it to do. And then coming back to our neutral, relax that tension. Now we're going to lift your right arm up and then bring it all the way under. Let's open back up again into that twist. So reaching up. And this time, drop your head all the way down, stretching up the back of the shoulder. And open back up. And release, other side. Twist, inhale, exhale, reaching under. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, come all the way down onto the back, or the side of the head, should I say. Twisting into the back of the shoulder. And then reach back up to the sky. And release down. Now bring your right hand to your shoulder and we'll draw a big circle with your elbow. So try not to lean or twist your body. So we're just working the shoulder rotation as large as you can make that movement. And then we'll go back the other way. So make sure you're not collapsing into your supporting shoulder, the side that's still connected to the earth. Last one. Good. Bring that down. Other side. So trying to make that circle as large as you can without compensating anywhere else in the body. And then we'll reverse back the other way. Good. Now we'll do the same sort of movement with our hip joint. So let's lift up the right leg. We do a little donkey kick up behind. Open the knee to the side and circle it all the way right around to that starting position. Kick to the sky, open the knee and around. So we're trying not to lean too much or rotate the hips. We're working into that hip joint. There may be a little bit of clicking going on. If there's pain, please make your movement smaller. And then we'll go back the other way. Out to the side, circle it up and bring the knee down. So firm in the belly to try and stop the torso from moving, the spine. Last one. Good, bring it down. So the wrists and the shoulders may be getting tired as well because it's your foundation. Let's go over to the other side, not much longer. Kick up, open the knee and bring it around. Up, around. So keep the foot flexed. So we've got activeness in the body. Push your hands through the earth. Then we go back the other way. Open and around. Last one. Excellent work. All right, let's roll out those wrists. Back the other way. And then you can gently push into the back of the wrist as well, just to stretch them out after that pressure. All right, I'm going to come all the way down onto your belly. Have your feet hip distance apart, legs active. So pointing your toes. Push your pubic bone and your hips down, squeezing into your glutes, and then bring your arms into a bit of a W shape. So on your exhale, lift your hands and your elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades in towards one another. Imagine there's a roof right down on top of you and you're trying to push your arms into that roof. Pull your belly button up, your pelvic floor like you're trying to stop yourself from peeing, just a gentle squeeze, and neck nice and long, and then release back down. So this is really good for our upper back strength and posture. So engaging the bottom half of the body, pulling the belly button up, we exhale, lift, and inhale, release. Keep the bottom half of the body tense as we do our faster reps now. So we exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Trying to pull those shoulder blades up and in and back and down at the same time. If you're feeling anything in the lower back, don't come as high, and make sure you're engaging your core and your pelvic floor. Now I'm going to hold the next one up. Slide your arms forward and back. Forward and back. Got 5 more to go. 2 and 1. Drop your head. Let the legs go side to side. All right, now you can keep the forehead down into your hands and we'll focus on the lower part of the body now. So anchoring the hips down, lift one leg and then the other. So keep the legs straight, pointing your toes, squeezing into your glutes. Belly button slightly pulled up, pelvic floor slightly humming. And imagine your feet are getting pulled away from you. So it's not just about the height, it's about the length. Trying not to rock from side to side in the hips. And either stay with single leg, especially if you've got lower back issues, or we can go into double. Let's do 5 more. Good, and drop it down. Relax for a moment. Take a deep breath. Now we're going to try and combine those two movements together if it feels okay for you. If you'd rather stay with just the arms or just the legs, that's okay. Otherwise, arms back into your W shape, grounding down through the hips. Lift up, arms and legs, and then come back down. So this is option 1. Option 2 is we're going to reach the arms forward, and then as we lift, pull your arms back, and then dive forward as we lower. Exhale, breaststroke back. Inhale, come down. Squeezing into the glutes. Keep your foundation of your core on, moving with the breath. Do 4 more. Staying super active even though you're lowering in between each one. The last one. And release. Push yourself back into a shell stretch. So rounding the spine, you can shimmy out the lower back, side to side. Good. Let's come back into our tabletop position. We're trying to keep everything nice and still and stable. So wrapping here. So the feeling that I want you to get is if you squeeze your pelvic floor to like 100%, you'll feel like a firm feeling. Now we don't want to keep that hold of your pelvic floor because it can't sustain it for too long, but the feeling of the wrapping of the core that happens when you do that, that's the feeling I want you to try and learn how to do without that full pelvic floor squeeze. So firming into the belly. We've got a muscle called the transverse abdominis, which runs all the way up your spine across the belly like a corset. So firming into that. Then we're going to lift opposite arm and leg and really shoot at long. So it's not about height, length. Squeezing into the glute, lengthening, and then come back in. Then other side. And the goal for this one as we transition from side to side is we're trying not to rock from side to side. Minimal movement, except that extension. We're controlling every movement, super active in the body. So the whole body has tension. And control, mindfulness, strength. So 2 more on both sides. And we're always exhaling on the hardest part of the exercise. So for this one, it's on the way out. Inhale as you come back in. Good. Then just round the spine for a moment. Shake out the hips. And we'll come all the way back down onto the belly. And do the same from the space here. So this time we have the arms out, extended in front, up onto your fingertips. Legs hip distance apart. The chest is slightly lifted. Ground down the hips. Lift opposite arm and leg. Same thing, we're aiming for length more than height. The chest stays lifted. Wrapping that corset muscle in. Neck stays nice and long, looking down. So you have the option to stay really slow and working on the lift and lower. If your lower back is feeling pretty strong, then we can try the reverse direction. So you lift from high and then we're tapping down and up. So it's a lot more load on the lower back. So only doing which option is right for you. Let's do 4 more. I'm going to go back to the first variation. 2. 1 more. Excellent work. Bring your hands under your shoulders, around the spine, so you can do that shell stretch again, or come all the way down into a child's pose. All right, now we're going to come into a plank position. We've got lots of choices. So one option is to be in a half plank where the knees are down and you're in a diagonal line. Okay, you also have the option of being on your forearms if your wrists have had enough. Okay, you can also have the option of knees lifted. And if you're going to do it with me, I'm going to be in a high plank. So holding whatever option you want, or if you're moving with me, I'm going to do what's called a leg pull. So we lift the right leg, shift away and point your toes. So you're getting a calf stretch into that left leg. Flex your foot as you come back, shoulders over wrists, and then drop the foot down. So the left leg lifts up, point as you push away, flex as you come back forward, and drop it down. So we go lift, point, flex, and lower. Lift, point, flex, and lower. So we're trying to do minimal rocking from side to side as we transition each leg. It's a bit of a brain coordination exercise as well. Try not to collapse into the shoulders. And you don't want your bum to get too high either. Great, 2 more both sides. Last one. Good, drop it down. Come back into your child's pose for a moment. Go ahead and come all the way up into a pike or a down dog. And pedal out the feet. And walking your feet in towards your hands. Bend the knees. Grab your elbows. A little rock from side to side. And roll up 1 vertebra at a time. All the way up to standing. Bring your arms up to frame the face. And then open the arms wide. Excellent work. Alright. So now we'll bring the feet a little wider. Let's do some hip circles. I love working the joints in all ranges of motion. Then we move a lot more effectively. And we're also ready to be strong instead of stiff. Alright, let's go back the other way. Awesome. Let's do a big side stretch. Lean into one side. Up and over. And we'll bring the legs together and circle out your knees. So trying to straighten them at the back and bring them around. Now there may be a bit of clicking which is okay. Just make sure there's no pain. If there's pain, make your movement really slow and small. And then we go back the other way. Awesome. All right. Stepping wide, toes turned out. We'll do a little bit of a squat sort of cardio sequence to get the heat raised in the body, get them blood pumping. All right. Go at your own speed though. You inhale up, exhale down. Up to you how deep you want to go. Now with this, it's kind of like a plie. So we want to stay upright in the spine instead of when we squat, it's more of a hinge of the hips. So this one, nice and tall. Well, let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's come back down and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold on 1. Lift one heel and drop it down. Lift the other heel and drop it down. Lift, lower, lift, lower. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. Then we're going to curtsy behind. And as you come out, you can either just tap or bring your elbow up. So it's a little bit of balance, coordination, and oblique activation as well. And obviously the legs are working. Let's go another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay in your curtsy for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Other side. The curtsy, either step or crunch. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay behind. Pulse. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Ooh. All right. I'm going to turn side on so you can see my lunges better. I'm going to bring one leg forward, one leg behind. Try and have your hips square and you're up on the ball of the back foot. I'm going to come down. When you come down, try not to be in this forward or back. We want to have shoulders stacked over hips. If you do want to get more into glutes instead of thighs, you can do a hinge, but avoid doing a rounded spine, okay? You want to be really controlled. Okay, so we come up and down, up and down. Imagine you've got a book on your head. You're balancing beautiful posture. Once again, it's up to you how deep you want to go. If you've got knee issues or balance issues, you can always hold on to a chair. I'm not going to be here long though. The next one, I'm going to come down and hold. Now I'm going to twist towards your front leg. Make sure your back leg doesn't twist with you. So we want your hips to stay forward. The twist, center, twist, center. So staying low in the back leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1. Bring all your weight into that front foot. Step it in, push away. In, push away. So that spine nice and straight. Now you'll feel it in your glute. In, away. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Straight into the other side. Hips facing forward. Tall spine. Lower and lift. So we've got 2 more, and we've got those twists. Alright, let's come down and hold. Rotate. Keep the hips and the knees facing forward, rotating from the ribs and the shoulders. Working on our balance, our endurance. Oh, I'm wobbling. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Put all your weight into the front foot. Step it in, push away. Hinging at the hips, spine nice and straight. Minimal weight in that back leg. That front leg doesn't change shape, it stays still. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Whew. My goodness, let's stretch out those thighs. So bring one heel up towards your bum. You can hold on if you need to. Oh my goodness, I have wobbles. There we go. And then to stretch out the glutes as well, we can bring your foot up onto your thigh and push your knee down. Good, other side. Good, and onto your thigh. Good, and release. Coming back to the back of your mat. And roll down one vertebrae at a time. So rounding the shoulders. And 1. Articulating through each vertebrae at a time. Soften the knees until you can bring the hands to the floor. And we begin to walk your hands all the way up into a plank. Drop your knees. Now I'm going to do a few push-ups here. I'm not going to be here long, so if you want to stay in your full push-up position, you can, or knees. Hands are just a little wider than the shoulders. Spread your fingers. So if your push-up is just a little half push, that's okay. If you can get your chest all the way down, then that's an option too. So your elbows don't go directly out to the side. They're more like an upside down V shape. And try not to collapse into your shoulder blades. So what I mean by that is it's not a row before or that superwoman lift we were doing earlier. We were trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together. For this one, you want to try and keep your shoulder blades relatively still. So we're relying on our chest. Let's just do another 4. You exhale as you push away from the floor, because that's where we need our power. Good, and release. And bring your legs around in front for our saw. So our legs are going to go out wide. Flex the feet. And we're going to try and sit up nice and tall. So If you're really tight in your hip flexors and lower back, and hamstrings for that matter, you may need to have your knees bent, or you may be able to sit on a block or something to bring yourself a little higher. All right, so arms are going to go out to the side, sitting up nice and tall. Everything's engaged. We twist towards one leg. Your back thumb flips down, and then round the spine, scoop your belly and fold as far as you're able. Roll back up one vertebrae at a time. Flip your back thumb over. Come through center. So we twist. Exhale, roll down with control. Roll up. Inhale, through center. So the purpose of this is our range of motion and stretch, but not only that, it's control of the spine and stabilization and engagement of the core. There's a lot going on. You're going to stay active in the body, mindful of your breath and everything that's working here, whether it's contracting or lengthening. Let's do another 2 on both sides. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, both sides. Beautiful. Bring the legs in. Do a nice twist. So opposite hand to knee. And then push away, look behind. Other side. And release. Bring the legs around in front. So feet hip distance apart. Nice and tall on the spine again. Reach your arms forward. On your exhale, you tuck your tailbone under. So this part of the body tucks like you're trying to bring your tail up in between your legs, making a C shape with the lower back. Lean back so we're on the back of the sit bones. Hold here. See if you can reach the arms up as far as you can. And then return back to that straight spine. Exhale, scoop. Reach. Bring it in. And lengthen. We're only going to do 5. So exhale. Fully wrap in. A little engagement of the core of the pelvic floor, obviously the core. Last one. All right, now we're going to scoop and roll back. Stay. Rotate. Come back through center, other side. Come back through center and come all the way up. Exhale, let's start the other way with your twist. Open. Try not to shift the legs or the hips. We're just twisting from the upper back, the thoracic spine. Back to our first side first. And up. And then the last side, the other side first. And lift up. Lower the arms. Make sure there's enough room behind you because we're going to go all the way back now. So, tucking your tailbone under. And try and connect that lower back before anything else. So onto the back of the sacrum. And then your middle back starts to come down. And then your shoulders and your upper back. Reach your arms up overhead. Stretch your legs out long. Point your toes. Zip your thighs together. Take a deep breath. And you keep the legs together. We did a half roll back. Now we're going to do a half roll up. So we exhale. Push your lower back into the earth and reach towards your toes. And then inhale. Lengthen back out long. Exhale. Inhale. Now you can stay with half, or if you can, roll all the way up towards your toes and then really articulating through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Try to keep your legs grounded. So we're using the long lever of our arms to assist getting up, but we're trying not to throw ourselves up and relying on momentum. If you want to take away the long lever, it becomes a lot more challenging. So you can bring your arms in. So wherever you are, let's just do one more. Focus on your form, your breath. Every part of the body is in control. And then relax for a moment and stay here for the rest of it. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Now bring your legs up towards the sky and push your lower back into the earth. So if you need to, you can always sit on your hands just to give yourself a little bit of a shelf or foundation for your lower back. Otherwise, arms can just be down by your side. If you feel your shoulders tensing up quite a bit, try and bring your palms up so then we're not gripping into the shoulders too much. Now, legs are super active. They can be bent if you've got tight hamstrings up the back of the leg. Bring the lower one down, making sure your lower back doesn't arch off the floor, and then come back up with control. So we inhale all the way down, because that's the easy part. We exhale to fight against that gravity to bring it up. So we're wrapping our corset on and making sure our belly is not bulging. If you see it kind of bulging in the middle, it means we're relying on our superficial muscles, and we really need to focus on that corset, that deep core, your transverse abdominis. So wrapping in, exhale out through the mouth. So the purpose of the forceful breath, like you're blowing out a candle, that activates your deep core, and so does your pelvic floor. So when you're pulling your pelvic floor up a little, you think of all 4 points of your pelvic floor, which is your pubic bones, sit bones, tailbone. It's like a claw that you're kind of pulling it up together, yeah? But it's also really important to relax your pelvic floor in between each one. All right, now we're going to bring your hands, interlace them. Bring it behind the head with your thumb down either side of the neck. So you've got a real nice grip on your head to support it. Now raise the head and the shoulders, and we'll do the same thing. So now our core is working in a different way because it's holding the weight of the upper body. Now you can see if your belly is doming as well a lot better. Now I should say if you've got lots going on in your hips and your hip flexors, this may feel really uncomfortable, and it may be clicking a lot. You can always do bent knee versions, which will make that a little bit better. Now if you don't need to support the head, then you can bring your hands to the leg. So we're swapping into more of a scissor action now. So chin is slightly tucked in, neck is nice and long. Let's do another 4. Keep everything really active, moving with your breath. Last one, both sides. Beautiful. Bring your knees in. Roll out the ankles. And a little rock from side to side. All right. Bring your legs into a tabletop position. and you get that 90-degree angle, and then just drop the feet from there. So feet are roughly hip distance apart, coming into a neutral spine. So that's where your hip bones are in line with your pubic bone. You've got a little gap under your lower back. We're going to come into our bridges for our hamstrings. So relax your shoulders. Arms can be down by your side or lift them up, which will take a bit of pressure out of that area. So we're going to push your lower back into the mat. Keep that tuck sensation and then lift up. So for the purpose of this exercise, we're trying to avoid this rounding of the lower back. So that's more of like a stretch. We want to focus on strength. So tuck the tailbone under, push your pubic bone towards your face, create this nice long line, and then come back down. So we tuck, lift, really squeeze at the top, and then come back down. Tuck, lift, squeeze, and then come back down. I'm doing a bit of a mix of just bridges and half and roll ups and down. So I'm doing the roll at the beginning, the normal bridge, and then back. Usually you can do a roll all the way up and a roll all the way down, or just a lift and lower. There's different ways to do it. This one, challenging the brain a little bit by doing it in parts. So we go down, lift, return back to the beginning, tuck, lift, and return back to the beginning. Let's do two more. All right, we're going to come back up, tuck, lift, keep tucking, 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 pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold up on 1, out and in, keep that inner thigh working now, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, 10 more, pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down, knees side to side. Great, let's roll onto your side. So have your neck nice and long. So you can either have your arm as a pillow or stretch it out long. And then try and come into a neutral spine by pushing that top hip away. So we've got that little gap under there and our hips are aligned, which means our spine's aligned. Flexing the feet, you can either keep your hand on your hip if you're balanced, otherwise it can come to the floor. So you're going to point to lift, flex to lower. Point, lift, flex, lower. Imagine you've got a spring in between your leg. You're pushing down on that spring when you come down. And then you've also got a band along your foot attaching you to the floor. So when you're lifting the leg, you're pulling against the band. So we're creating our own resistance in both directions. Core is still on, even though we're in a laid down position, because we're stabilizing into that neutral. Two more. Lift back up and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go in, out, up, down, in, out, down. Trying to keep the knee in the same height as your hip, so not letting it drop down or lift up too high. Good. 5, 4. Should be feeling your glute by now, hopefully. 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up. Bottom leg comes up and down, squeezing into that spring. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax the top leg into your bottom leg. So the bottom leg is pushing the weight of that top leg up and down. The inner thigh of the bottom leg is working. 4, 8, 7. Still trying to keep your rib cage slightly lifted, by the way. 4, 3, 2. Holding up on 1. Top leg is going to circle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And drop it down. Oh my goodness. All right, coming up. Now, I'm going to have your elbow. Actually, let's put your back leg in front of your ankle of your front foot. And then we're slightly leaning forward so your hand is in line with your knee. So instead of doing our normal side plank, we're going to come into more of like a side bend. So we're creating like a rainbow shape or an arch shape. So you can leave your knee down and lift and do this. Or you can lift your knees so you have to go forward over your shoulder, coming into a nice bend and then back down. So choosing either knee down or all the way up and over. I'm going to do 4 more. So trying to get as much of a bend into your ribs and a stretch into the top as you can. Last one. Excellent. Other side. So aligning the spine, stacking the hips, flex that bottom foot for your foundation. So we point to lift, flex to lower. Firm in the belly. Try not to rock forward and back in the hips. We've got our invisible band and spring, adding resistance. Five more. Last one. All right, let's pulse. 4, 10. Keep the foot flexed. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We go knee in, out, up and down. In, out, and down. For 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Bottom leg, lift and lower. Both feet are flexed now. Feeling that top glute working. Inner thigh on the bottom leg for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both legs together. Bottom leg doing most of the driving. Try not to collapse into the ribs. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up on 1. Point that top foot. We've got our circles. My goodness. 5 back the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh. Hello, glutes. All right, now we've got our side bend. So bottom foot hooks over your, top foot hooks over your bottom foot, your ankle. Hand comes in line with your knee, so we're leaning forward. You can come up onto your knee for your rainbow bend, or all the way up and over. So we've got 5, and 4, 3, 2, last one. Beautiful. Come all the way down onto your back. We've got our hundreds. So, start in your neutral spine. The hips aligned with pubic bone, little arch under your lower back, feet planted, shoulders flat, arms straight. So the breath for the hundreds, let me just catch my breath before we do this. So we want to keep your arms straight the whole time, and it's like you're pulsing. So already you'll feel when you start to pulse that even though the feet are down, the core has to work to stabilize. So the breath is fast. We go inhale 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5 and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. You can stay here, or you have the option of pushing your lower back into the ground into imprint and legs come up. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have the option of lifting the head and the shoulders into a crunch. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5 and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5 and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. You have the option of extending the legs. Keep it going. Let's do one more. And hold. Knees in, head down, feet down. Well done. All right, bring your arms into a cactus position. You're opening up the chest, windshield wiper. Your legs from side to side. Slow everything down. And then dropping the legs over to the right side. If you want to deepen the stretch, your right foot, which is your bottom foot, can come up onto the knee and then turn your head away. And then release over to the other side. And then coming back into center, let's bring one foot up onto your thigh, hug it in, glute stretch. And swapping sides. And coming into a happy baby where you flex your feet up towards the sky. So grab your feet if you can reach them, or your ankles or behind the knees. And try and push your tailbone down, shoulders down, knees down. And see if you can straighten one leg. And then bend, other side. And bend, bring those feet down, soles of the feet together, arms back into that cactus position. And just closing your eyes for a moment, relax your core, relax your body. If this position isn't comfortable for you, you can straighten your legs, bring your arms down by your side, Just staying here for a few deep breaths to calm the nervous system. In and out of the nose now. Deep belly breath. 3 more. And straighten your legs out long. Reach your arms up overhead, doing a full body stretch. Hug your knees in as tight as you can. Hug your head up and towards your knees. And roll to your side. Come up to any comfortable seated position. We'll bring our hands together in prayer. It's always nice to end our practice with gratitude for your incredible body, for the way you move, for your strength, for your health. Never taking your body for granted and filling it with love and gratitude and respect. And bring your hands up to your forehead. Gratitude for this time you've given yourself to nourish your body, your mind, your soul, because you are worth it. I am so grateful to you for sharing your time and energy with me today. Namaste.